Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth, and on this channel we work on building our spiritual confidence so we can listen to our intuition and read our tarot cards with ease. And today we are going to be talking about the King of Wands. The King of Wands, of course, is part of the Royal Arcana, and I have had so many letters from you telling me that you find it really difficult to read Royal Arcana cards. We are going to talk about ways of remembering the meaning of this card, particularly by understanding the elemental correspondence. We're going to look at the Kabbalah, we're going to look at astrological timing, and we're going to look at the actual symbolism on this card as drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith, including the salamander who is in the foreground. So if you ever wanted to know why there are lizards on the King of Wands cape and why he has a lizard in the foreground, then stick with me because I'm going to spin the camera around and we're going to take a deep dive into this card. See you soon. So let's have a look at the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is the Prince of the Chariot of Fire. So if we look at the classical element of the King of Wands, he is fire of fire. So all the kings are fire, the suit is fire, and it's fire of fire. So we're looking at masculine energy. And fire, of course, strengthens each other because they're the same element. So it helps us to appreciate, if you think about my video about the Queen of Wands, how important it is that he has that tempering influence of the Queen of Wands with her water and the influence of water on fire. And of course, water, as we know, puts out fire. So that influence of tempering the influence of that element. The King of Wands actually takes moves the astrological signs from Scorpio through to Sagittarius. Third decan of Scorpio, second decan of Sagittarius. And I'll show you what I mean. So if we look on the wheel, you can see the King of Wands. Where is he? Bless his little cotton socks. We are looking at, where is he? Here he is here. Whoops, I've got it upside down. Any wonder I can't see it. So you can see him here moving across from Scorpio to Sagittarius, across the Widdershins, across those two signs and dragging the cards around. If we look at my little chart here, and if you're wondering where you can find these sheets that I'm referring to, you can find them in my Etsy shop. I will make sure that the link is down in the description box and in the first comment for you in case you can't find it. And these sheets, I hope, make it much easier for you to understand how the cards all fit together on the astrological wheel. So we can see over here, Ace of Wands, Page of Wands rule that quadrant of space, which is out here. And then you can see here, each one of the wands in the Royal Arcana. So we've got the Page of Wands, which sits outside, Knight of Wands. Where are we? Knight of Wands is pulling into a fire sign each time. So we're pulling from Cancer through to Leo. If we look at the Queen of Wands, she's pulling from Pisces through to Aries, a fire sign. King of Wands is pulling from Scorpio into Sagittarius, a fire sign. So the element of the suit is fire, but each one has a different allocation that tempers that particular element. Now, I thought that perhaps the element that they pulled to might be indicative of the element that they're allocated which is different from the suit. So your suit allocation is fire, and then you've got the knight, which is air. You've got the queen, who is water, the king, who is fire. But no, it doesn't quite work that way. And it's because they're pulling across 4 elements, because the page sits outside of the wheel. So you've got your 4 elements here, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. But because the page sits outside, it doesn't quite work that they pull from their element of allocation through into the element of their suit. I thought it might have worked, but unfortunately it doesn't quite. But I wanted to show you that because when you've got a chart like this, it makes it so visual for you to have a look at. So if you would like these, I'll make sure the link to my astrological cheat sheets are down in the description box, as well as the link to my notes to help you understand the symbolism of the cards. So our dates for King of Wands, if you're really into all of that, is the November 13 to December 12, traditional timing of spring. And of course, King is fire of fire. And then if we look at the other kings, and I'll be doing videos of these in detail, we've got Wands, Cups, a king, fiery emotion, which is water. So you're looking at the tempering effect of water on fire. King of Swords, so you're looking at the stoking effect of air on fire. And then King of Pentacles, or the dampening effect of earth on fire. So each one of these has a different meaning, and you can see how each card expresses that meaning. We're going to talk about the King of Wands. So I'm going to take these cards away, and we are going to have a look at the other allocations. Hebrew letter of Yod. Now, if you think about the Yods, I've talked about these before, and they are hopefully in this deck. I can show you some other cards that have Yods in them, like the Moon card and the Tower card, which we've already talked about in the videos that I've done previously on the Major Arcana. But the idea of the Yod is about everything and nothing is the meaning of the Yod. It's like Big Bang Theory. It's the presence of the bigger spiritual presence that started the world, however you want to think about that. Whether you think about it as the universal energy like I do, or you think about it as God, or however you want that to be. So the presence of Yods is like manna from heaven. It's like a dynamic presence of God calling you into that spiritual place. So if we think about why the king would have the Hebrew letter of Yod, you think about the traditional meaning of a king, which we don't really think about now, particularly in Australia, because we're talking about turning into not of getting rid of the monarchy. But it's that traditional birthright to rule, and that, you know, what the king says is law, and that it's in divine, spiritual, religious right. And so that's your allocation of Yod. Chokmah, wisdom. So again, the Seraphot that emanates energy. All the kings sit upon this Seraphot here. So we're not talking about transition of energy. We're talking about cards sitting upon a Seraphot and actually emanating a power. And we will talk more about the Tree of Life actually, I'm going to talk a lot more about it in the Tarot for Beginners course, which is coming very, very soon. So please make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter, connectwithyourdeck.com/challenge. If you go to my website, you'll see that there are bits and pieces everywhere on my website about the Tarot for Beginners course. And there's just a few things I still have to do finalize that, and then it will be all systems go, and it's going to be a really special course. It'll talk about the meaning of the cards, but actually I'm doing a lot more videos on that. It's more about orientating you into how to learn the tarot. So I'm really excited about the course because it's very different to what anyone else is doing. And of course, as you know, all my courses are free with workbooks that help you get more out of the videos that I do. So wisdom, meaning the highest father or God, again, masculine energy for this card. Universal energy, dynamic, creative, positive energy, masculine energy of intuition and spontaneity, fire of fire. Acting on your intuition, maybe even acting before you've thought. And that is why the Queen is such an important tempering influence on this card. So let's have a look at the symbolism of the card. We're looking at the King's pose. So he is looking away in contemplation, with his, contemplation of his responsibilities, and he's grabbing that active wand with its green shoots with determination. He has a crown of flames, which again indicates that he has this strong, fiery intellect and a lot of idealism. We've talked about the salamanders. They sit in a circle showing this magical circle of life and a really magical animal that can, again, pass through fire. And you can see that the king even has a salamander at his feet. The throne reaches up to the sky, channeling energy from sky to earth. He has this beautiful yellow cape and also his yellow crown, which is about happiness, peace, clarity of thought, enthusiasm, energy, all of those wonderful energies. Green symbolism. So he's got this sort of cape and he's got green shoes. And we know that green is about fertility and nature and nurturing. So it's about reminding him of the responsibility that he bears in his enthusiasm. But it also can represent an immaturity in his enthusiasm. So he needs to be tempered by the Queen. Extremely important. Blue symbolism, blue, clear sky. So he has clarity of thought and action. He has black lions on his throne, which is about strength of will and determination. His orange symbolism here, his headpiece and his clothing indicates it's not clearly yellow or enthusiastic and passionate or fiery passion of red, which can indicate that there can be some confusion of passion. So he needs to be careful not to be too impetuous. So if we're thinking about the meaning of this card, he's a strong leader. So if you were reading this card for someone, you might look at it as this person is a strong leader that you're reading for, or there's a strong leader coming into their life who sees the bigger picture, who can make clear plans and go for it, who lets their passions lead the way, and who will take a risk and doesn't hold back. So reading either the energy of the card, reading this card as indicating your querent, particularly if it's in the significator position, and we will do some more reading, some more videos on how to read this card. So this is just really the symbolism, or reading this as somebody coming into your life or the person you're reading for's life. So that is the King of Wands, and that is the end of the wands in the Minor Arcana. Our next set of videos will be on the cups, and we'll start with the ace, and I'll take you through again. So we're looking at the next section as we travel around the wheel of life, following through the order of the Golden Dawn. If you love my video and you've made it to the end, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video in this epic series that I'm doing on the symbolism of the Rider-Waite Smith. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.